everybody. Welcome you to Leadership Talk. On today's edition of Leadership Talk, we'll be looking at the issue of emotional intelligence in the workplace. So you'll be asking certain questions, like what do you actually mean by a workplace? That is the place where people converge and perform activities that lead to the achievement of the objectives of the organization. So, what does it really take to bring these people together to work in a place? It means that we pass through the recruitment and selection process to engage individuals that will fit our own objectives and missions and visions. When we get these people together, we will need them to work together and understand that the work processes will actually demand that they work together as a team. So for that to be possible, we need people to understand the issues surrounding emotional intelligence. And what do we mean by this emotional intelligence? It means your ability to understand yourself and understand the people you'll be working with, and using that understanding to be able to work effectively with them without the usual conflicts and disagreements. So, Coleman developed this concept of emotional intelligence with the idea that it will help us better understand our relationships in the workplace, and that it will enable us develop the interpersonal relationship skills that will actually cushion the effects of conflicts and confusions in the workplace. This emotional intelligence framework he developed has 4 basic building blocks, which deals with both the intrapersonal issues and the interpersonal issues. So if we look at it this way, we say the first one is self-awareness. Do you actually understand yourself? Like the popular saying, do you know yourself? So the first thing you need to know is who you are. What are the things that you need to understand about yourself? What are your strengths as an individual? What are your weaknesses? What are the things you feel will make you perform better in an environment? And what are those things that will make you weak and not be able to perform well? So if you understand yourself very well, then you'll be able to manage the second block, which is self-management. So do you know those things that will actually make you not do better in the office? So if you know them, how do you manage them? If you also know what your strengths are, how are you going to be able to use your strength to the advantage of your organization? So once you're able to understand the self-awareness issues and self-management issues, then you'll be looking at the social awareness level. Do you understand your organizational environment? Do you understand those you are going to work with? Do you even understand the missions and visions of your organization? What are the core values of your organization? Once you understand the dynamics of the environment, then you'll be able to look at the relationship management aspect of it. So once you understand yourself, which is your self-awareness, and you're able to manage yourself, then you'll be looking at the social environment, your awareness of the social environment. Then at that point, you will be able to look at the relationship management issues. So your good understanding of the people you're working with and yourself will enable you understand the social environment and also how to use those understanding of both you and the people to manage your relationship with others. Once you can do that, then as a leader, you'll be able to ensure that the objectives of your organization is properly achieved. Now that we have understood what the building blocks of emotional intelligence is all about, let us now look at how it actually affects our work relationships in the office. For instance, you have a staff that comes to work every day, early, and is always in the office and closes at the right time, does all his or her work on time, and delivers on timelines effectively. Then one day you come to work, he or she isn't at work, and you just look at it without even finding out what happened. You ask that she be given a query. Now when the staff comes to work and is given a query, you can understand how emotions will run. She will definitely not be happy, because ordinarily she will feel that for the first time since she started work there, she has not been late to work, and that the first time it happens, she's been given a query. Meanwhile, on her way to work, there's a very serious accident on the highway, and that disruption was very, very abnormal for her. She tried to reach the office, but she couldn't, and now she comes to work. We expect that as an emotionally intelligent manager of the office, you should be able to wait and find out why the staff is late to work. Now, if you do that, she will understand that her boss or her manager has her back, and then she'll be encouraged to do more while at work. So it's advised that situations like this, will take our time to look at what has actually happened and actually begin to follow up with our staff and know how they feel about situations. A staff walks into the office and has a serious issue to handle, and her manager has not been able to recognize that that day there is something wrong. It is your responsibility as the manager of the place to actually look at how your staff feel sometimes. A staff comes in that used to be very cheerful and all of a sudden is looking very gloomy. At that point, it's your responsibility to find out, Jane, this one you're looking like this today, what is wrong? I hope there's no problem. They should be able to tell you what has happened. Okay? We also look at situations where we have people working in teams. It's our responsibility to find out what kind of personalities that our staff has as people working in the same place. So we should be able to have this knowledge that makes us understand how best staff can work in different environments and what environments they can actually do better in. So you have some staff that have eye for details. You have some staff that like to make things happen immediately. You have some staff that will want to see that everybody is actually being taken care of. So this kind of situations is for you to know what roles each of these staff will be able to perform better. So if you put a staff that is actually not pushy as a leader of a team that has a very short timeline to report, you discover that you'll be having problems with meeting up with your deadlines. So it's good for us to actually look at the behaviors of our various staff in the workplace, so you'll be able to understand them and know how to use them better. Let us also look at a situation where you react as a leader to the attitude of your staff. Sometimes things happen, so we need to take time to manage it. Let us look at a staff that has anger issues. As an individual, you need to be able to be aware of your problem. If you're a leader and you're a staff, because before you become a leader in the organization, it means that you are engaged in that organization. So if you are put in a leadership position in the organization and you have anger issues, it means that you have to take part in the initial step, which is self-awareness, which means that you understand that you have anger issues. And how do you manage that? It's through proper self-regulation and management. So when issues come up, you should be able to adopt issues like counting 1 to 10 before you actually react. That enables you not to get caught up in that anger issue. So when you are reacting to stuff, you know that your actions will have ripple effects on whatever happens to the staff that day, and it will affect the level of productivity in the office. So let's say, for instance, you had issues at home while coming to work, or you had problem with traffic officers on your way coming to work. And as you step into the office, your staff will normally greet you, "Good morning, sir. Welcome, sir." And then you ask the staff, "What is good about this morning?" "My friend, get out of my way." That alone will distort the staff's approach to work that day. That your simple approach to that staff has a lot of ripple effect on that staff. So you need to manage how you react when you are faced with problems either at home or at work. So we need to actually understand ourselves, because it affects the way we manage our relationships at work. So it is better that we're able to regulate our persons before we begin to interface with our staff, so that we don't leave impressions that will affect our work on a daily basis. So as leaders in an organization, how do we benefit from this issue of emotional intelligence? It means that we have to properly understand ourselves. We have to be able to manage our attitudes and behaviors at work. and be able to use our social skills out of the 3 skills that we are supposed to have. Because we are supposed to have the conceptual skills, the technical skills, and the people skills. So the third one, which is the people skill, comes in handy when we are dealing with with emotional intelligence. So we should be able to use that very well when we are putting things right in the office. So our behavior and the way we approach others is very important if we want things to go well wherever we find ourselves. Alright, so having looked at the 4 elements that make up the emotional intelligence blocks at these initial discussions, I feel that as managers we need to actually be self-aware. We need to be able to self-regulate and manage ourselves. We need to develop our social skills, understand our work environment and its dynamics, and also we need to put all these 3 into managing our relationships effectively. When we do this, we have moved one step further into achieving what we are supposed to do as managers, which means we are supposed to ensure that our organizations achieve the objectives for which they are set up. It's also important for us to understand that emotional intelligence is just one part of the intelligence we require in the workplace, because we also need the intelligent quotient, we need this emotional intelligence, and we also need what we call the political quotient, which is the PI. So, political quotient. So, if we are able to manage our EQ very well, it means that we are combining our intelligence and our emotions, which makes our personality a little bit more complete. So, it is one thing that will take you far in the workplace when you're able to manage yourself and to manage the people you work with. That will make your organization succeed better. So, at the end of today, if you find anything we have said here today interesting, or you need further comments or further discussions on this area, please put your ideas on the comment section.